Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Wow,
There's
there's
a lot of people.
Yeah.
Great. So shall we slowly start because we only have 1 hour. Well, 58 minutes now.
Sure. Hi. Hello, everyone. Okay, so we start. Should I start with Hydra? Or I don't know what to do. Okay. So yes,
We start with like general introduction. Maybe I can, or do you want to share the screen, or should I do it?
yeah, maybe short introduction is a good idea.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Well, first of all, I think we should be bigger. Like we should be the big ones because we're in the grid with
Yeah. How speaker like this?
I
Is
think you
it?
can pin yourself, but can you pin 2 people or not? That's the question. No, then it doesn't work.
Okay.
Okay, whatever. If you're watching this stream, you can select multi-speaker. No.
Make us bigger.
Yeah, just make us bigger, and then you will see in the view. There's like speaker or multi-speaker, because if you say gallery, or maybe you can set hide non-video participants. I don't know. If you do that, then there's only the 2 of the speakers and Kirian, who has this blank video stream, but that's okay. Yes, so who am I? Who are we? I'm Naoto. I'm based in Tallinn. I do programming, but not programming as a job. I teach also. I teach how to make websites, which I actually did in the past CCFest. I mean, we both presented before, but also I did like a solo workshop about making websites and so on. Actually, we did together once, like making websites as well, not like a web page. Anyways, so we do this kind of stuff, and also I do some art things. So the first keynote was quite stimulating for me.
Yes, thank you, Naoto. Yes, I'm Flor. I'm based in Dortmund, in Germany, and yeah, we gave together some workshops already for CCFest, as well as other workshops, and also collaborated a lot with different projects with Naoto. And yes, I work also with programming and art, and I teach, and yeah, a little bit of this and that. Yeah, code, creative coding, programming, live coding, whatever. Yes. So yeah, maybe should I share screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, so the main idea for today is that we would like to make a short introduction on Hydra. We maybe I should also I just need a second because I also want to I forgot to load the Teachable machine. I
You
can
mean the material or the live page? I can share the material.
Okay, yeah.
Although it's very much work in progress. So there are important things, but you don't have to go through at the point right now. But I put in the chat, and we might edit it later. We might not edit later. But
It's a work in progress.
yeah, it's more like a list of things for us. So, but if it doesn't make sense, don't worry. We will go through that in the next. Oh my gosh, it's already 50 something minutes, 54 minutes.
Okay, I will just share screen now, and then I will show Hydra. Okay, so this is Hydra for those who.
Yes, what is Hydra?
Yes, so Hydra, it's a live. Well, it's a visual environment, let's say, to make visuals or generate visuals through programming. It mostly works on the browser. It's based on JavaScript, and the idea is that yes, it's also open source, and every time you get into this Hydra, there are there is a gallery with random examples. So you can also go and run through all of these examples. This one, for example, from here is from Naoto. And as you can see also, like the way of how things are written is like very personal in a way. People write in different ways. There's not one single approach. Maybe everyone has its own way of writing. Of course, there is like a way of writing. So initially there is one source and then one output. So let's say OSC, that it's like the hello world. So this is a texture that should go to this output. But then there are other sources, like, for example, noise. And the idea is that you nest and interconnect different functions. So, for example, here I could apply a function of color, and then I could make everything red. This stands for RGB. I could also apply geometry to this, for example, calate, and then this is just mirroring how everything looks like. And
yeah, just to maybe like give a bit of more context, but if you are in the keynote, basically it's very similar approach. Just like Saskia's using P5.js that runs on the browser, it's kind of family of these coding tools. But Hydra actually, well, surprise that Olivia, who created this Hydra, is presenting in the next keynote. So you will probably actually, yeah, it would have been better if it's the other way around. But no, actually, it's good that you get the context now, and then you can maybe hear a bit more deeper into the story history about Hydra. I don't know what she's going to present. Maybe it's not, but we can do hands-on first, and then we can hear from her. Oh, she's here. So I don't know what you're going to talk about, but you're giving the very hands-on. And what I actually I have we both have like tutorials. Like Flora has tutorials online. I have tutorials online. So today we have very limited time. So we just run through. But then if you are curious, we point you to several resources that you can check later. I just started Hydra beginners tutorial, so you can check that out. And in the beginners tutorial, I call this sandwich. So now you have noise and out, which is kind of the bund of the sandwich. And you have all this stuff inside the sandwich, which is like color, kaleido, and so on, that you're gonna probably add more and more. But always you have the bun so that you can make a sandwich. Otherwise, it's a open sandwich, or I don't know, collapsing sandwich.
Yes, I agree. And then what you can also do maybe is like change the type of bread. Like, so for example, you can change the parameters that are inside of these values. So for example, I could just change the scale of the noise. Or if I go back to the OSC, then, well, now it's maybe even more visible how the calate is being applied. But then I could also change here the values, or I could also go higher or lower, like, well, two. I could also change the speed here. This is like creating different effects. As you can see also, by default, there are like values that appear here. I think this must be 4 by default. But then you could also go 999, I don't know. And then, yeah. Maybe should I show the camera so we also go faster, or how do you think we are with the time?
No, we have enough time, but does it actually camera work for you when you have Zoom open?
Well, I have another camera.
Okay, of course.
Yeah. So let's see. Well, as you can see, we managed to load Hydra textures, but you can also load external inputs, like for example, a webcam. In this case, I have my frontal camera from the laptop in Zoom, but I have an external webcam right here with me because I thought that this might happen. So the way to do it is like there is this function that is called initcam, and S0 stands for the source from the camera, and then well, Hydra will ask me for permissions on the camera. Also, in general, it appears also with the sound because it also has a sound input, so you can also trigger sound and the way. So with this function is like outside of my code. So outside of the sandwich, it's like you have how will you say?
Pickles.
Yeah, pickles, things that are like not yeah, food metaphors. Yes, yes, let's say you have a drink here. This is outside of your sandwich, but then you mix it again with this S0. Is like the texture will be loaded on my camera. Maybe I should comment. Yes, so now I'm here 2 times, one more pinkish than the other.
You should do
And
colorama.
yes, okay, I will shoot the color with the color also. Okay,
It depends, yeah.
So there's like also this function that is also applying colors. It's sorry, what I mean is also like this function colorama is also like a color function. So there are, like as we said, there are sources, there are textures that go initially, the like this bread, and then in the middle you have like colors that or color functions that are applied to your sandwich, and then also geometry. I could also repeat myself literally. So then I'm also in X and Y, for example, or I could rotate myself. So for example, like this. Then I could also change the value of the colorama. This is shifting RGB and alpha, if I remember correctly. Otherwise, correct me, please, Naoto.
You mean which part? The colorama or?
Yeah, the colorama.
No, it's actually converting to hue saturation value, and
Yeah,
then it's
true.
doing some funky stuff. So it's always like easy to make this interesting visual result.
Yeah, I was mixing it with shift. Okay, because it's similar but different. Okay. Yes. And then should I explain maybe invert?
Maybe.
So with invert, it's just this negative. But then I could also, for example, change values in time. So if I use the square brackets in Hydra, it's like a sequence of values. And this is making change the values in time. So it's not static. Well, I mean, rotate is now rotating, but this is also because the second value in rotate is time. But maybe
Yeah,
if
maybe you can simplify this a little bit because maybe even like without colorama, because for us the frame rate is not so good, so it's hard to understand what's happening. But now we understand that it's kind of going back and forth between two color sets, or even like without color, like the color function, because then you see yourself and then the negative, so it's kind of obvious what's happening.
yeah,
Maybe. Yeah.
yeah. And also,
So yeah, please.
no, just as you can see that also what I'm doing here is commenting lines of code, and this means that it's also a commenting function. So I have like a lot of code, but here if I uncomment again, the function is back. So this also it's helpful when you are like coding or trying stuff, and it's maybe also good for taking notes or writing your own poem. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how this would fit in the metaphor of a sandwich, but yeah, you tried your best replacing ketchup with a mango dressing. I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, so I guess like this was like a really like a fast forward of what we can do with Hydra. And if you're interested in the first keynote, also the second keynote by Olivia, obviously, this is like perfect tool for you to like sketch out things. But today's topic also includes machine learning because nowadays everyone's talking about machine learning. Not just that, but something like if you have used like, for example, P5.js, maybe you might be like surprised by how fast you can create things with Hydra. And I think that's kind of the strength of Hydra, but also like it's sometimes like tricky to incorporate other or integrate other tools, which P5.js is quite good at. Maybe there are a lot of examples, but these days now we have plugins in the Hydra, so you can actually add tools, which is, I think ML5.js is not in the plugin list, but we might do it later, or we have this kind of teaser of how you can include ML5.js, which is a machine learning JavaScript library, because everything is like Hydra is JavaScript, P5.js JavaScript, so you can also use P5.js inside Hydra or whatever JavaScript inside Hydra. And today we're going to use ML5.js as something kind of, how do you say, like, yeah, something to use teachable machine. Anyways, I'm gonna just like open my screen. Wait,
Will
share
you?
my screen, and
Yeah,
then
sure.
I can try to, wait, how do I do it?
Mm,
I'm gonna just share the screen. Oh no,
maybe
I'm not the
just
host, so I cannot do
can I
the screen
also
sharing.
give me a second?
Yeah.
Can I post?
Otherwise, I have to ask you to do it because I think I logged in with a different email address, which I didn't think about. So I don't have the host
Now
permission.
you're host.
Okay, great. Thanks so
So
much.
maybe just to clarify what we were doing also with Nauto is a little bit of proof of concept. So teachable machine, we will use it to trigger different functions from Hydra. In this sense, also, there are other possibilities, like one could, for example, control a value of a number with the mouse or with a MIDI controller. And what we propose in this workshop is a little bit the idea that this teachable machine will trigger Hydra functions.
Yeah. So just like how Floor was editing the numbers, we're gonna like instead of editing numbers, we're gonna try to do it with like, for example, gestures. So this is teachable machine. This is like something completely separate from Hydra, but we're gonna like glue. Glue was the word that I was looking for. ML5.js is kind of the glue between teachable machine and Hydra. So we have to like kind of switch our brain to using teachable machine for now. And if you're following, I can drop, or maybe you can drop the link to the chat if you and but I'm going to do it slowly. So if you open link, you have this pretty easy. You have to get started. And here, in this case, in our case, we're going to use image project. So we click on image project, and we just go with the default one, which is a standard image model. If your computer is super slow, maybe embedded image model works better. But if you have like, yeah, depends. Like if it's crashing, maybe you want to use embedded image model, but let's go with the standard one. Now, so basically what we're going to do, just to give a bit of, because you can follow me blindly, but just to give a bit of context. So machine learning can be like different, like different applications. And nowadays people talk about generative AI, but what we're going to do is like quite simple. So sorry if you're expecting to make images with AI. But what we do is we're going to use the webcam that we have, just like Flor was doing with the Hydra. But instead of using that image to, modify our color, for example, we're going to train the teachable machine. Well, we're going to teach the teachable machine so that it can recognize two different like gestures or poses or objects. And this is something you can explore. I can give you like a bit of example, but that's something, well, we don't have like a lot of time, so maybe we want to try it later. What would work, what doesn't work. And for this, we're going to keep this class 1 and class 2. So basically class 1 and class 2, that's something we want to like give examples of class 1, give examples class 2. For example, class 1 is me just being still, and then class 2 is like I'm hiding my face, and we're going to train it that way. So we're going to click on webcam on the class 1, and it's going to ask you, the browser will ask you if you can use the camera. Don't worry, I'm going to allow it. Don't worry. Oh, I think my shape, oh no, the aspect ratio or something changed because I allowed it in the browser. Anyways, it's not going to save the images or it's not going to send the images to like their server, although it's made by Google. So it's only going to store the trained data, which is like separate from, like, it's not your image itself. So if you're very, very, very like careful, if you're, some governments are tracking you, maybe you don't want to use this tool, but if not, then I think it's fine. So anyways, it's fine to use this tool, I think. It's not going to save your photo. So what I'm going to do is, as I said, class 1 is like me being still or not hiding my face. And the class 2 is going to be, I'm going to be hiding my face with my hand. And there's this button called hold to record. And so why is it hold? Because you could just like click once and take one image, but to make the machine a little bit more, it's a little bit cleverer than having one image, you can like give a bit of variation. Maybe you want to go closer or a bit further, or you move a little bit so that you can give a little bit of variation and kind of robust to changes. Or I don't know, I have my light just like, streaming person, but I can also turn it off or give variations if I want to. And let's say like 100 image samples is okay. And I scroll to the next one, which is class 2. I do the same thing, webcam. There's upload button, which I don't use, but if you have some reasons that you cannot use your webcam, maybe you can take photos on the phone and upload, but this will take more time. So I highly recommend webcam. And class 2, I will just hide my face. And again, I give a little bit variation, moving around. And this time I gave 144 images. It doesn't have to be exact, just like ballpark, like 100 images is okay. And now, so what I have is the class 1 has like my open face, and class 2 has me hiding the face. And I'm going to train the model. And this might make the computer's fan go crazy because this is actually, crunching all these images and generating the model, which is basically something that, how do you say it? It's like there are like weights, but basically this is something that we will use later in Hydra, so that, and ML5JS, so that if you feed in new images, it can predict if it's belongs to class 1, which is like me not hiding, and class 2, which is me hiding my face. And now, actually, it has the preview So if once the training is done, depending on your computer and number of images, it might take more time or less time, but don't worry. But if it's like completely crashing, then you might want to change to the embedded version that has less resolution. But let's say if it's working, then you have the preview, and what you can do is already you can try hiding your face, and then in the output, you see if it's class 1 or class 2. And now I'm not hiding, so the machine is telling that it's class 1, and if I'm hiding my face, you can see that it's switched to class 2, and it's quite accurate. So I'm quite happy. If it's not very accurate, maybe you have some data that's something's wrong with the data. So you might want to, I don't know, refresh the page and try it again. But even if it's not working, maybe I'm going to just proceed to export model. So the button here right next to preview. And again, it's not going to save the image itself. So don't worry, your photo won't be like uploaded anywhere. It's just a model, which is the just bunch of numbers. I know photos are also a bunch of numbers, but these numbers will be uploaded so we can use it inside Hydra and ML5JS. So either you can there's like option to upload or download, but upload is very handy. So I keep it this default option and hit upload my model. So it's going to save the data on their server. And that's very handy because now you have your own link. I have it here, but you have different link, which you want to copy it. And we can use that inside ML5JS to train it, not train it, to use that model, the trained model in some other applications, which is in our case, Hydra. And actually, if you don't have, we don't go there today, but there are like code snippets to use your model. So they already give you examples in JavaScript and even like P5.js. So if you're curious how to use it in P5.js, this is where you want to use. But for us today, we're going to use Hydra. And it's a little bit cheating, but Teachable Hydra.
You can also share it on in the chat.
Yeah, if you could, yeah, so you can check the chat if you're following this process. You go to this website which we prepared so that we don't have to go through like line by line in Hydra. It already gives the kind of glue of Hydra and Teachable machine using ML5JS. And we already have like 3 examples in here, which I just made an hour ago. And here again, I will allow the camera. And this is the, as Flo did, this is the example with invert. But what we're going to try here is using the gesture that we just did. It's not working yet because we haven't loaded the model, but we're going to use that to trigger invert and not invert. So here it's quite self-explanatory. You have the text box where if you haven't copied, you go back to the tab where it has the Teachable machine. You copy the shareable link and you paste it here. This is, again, it's unique to you, so it's different. That the last bit is different for you, but don't worry, that's your model. And you load it, and it will probably stop a little bit, and it's loading again. Now, yeah, just try it, and magically, now it's tracking my gesture. If it's working, please let us know in the chat. If it's not working, please also let us know in the chat. But basically, yeah.
Now, sorry that firstly, you would need to train your own model and use this URL. So because unless you are Naoto or you look exactly like Naoto, Naoto's clone maybe.
Yeah, but also you have to wear the same clothes and background and so on, which is actually something that we want to try next. But yeah, basically this is that. And inside the code, actually, it's like code snippet. So now we're kind of like hiding the code part because we found it's a little bit tricky to go like line by line in this 1 hour tutorial. So we prepared this page, but it is running Hydra in the background and loading ML5JS. And if you're curious about how to do it in the Hydra editor, then in this, I don't know why it's not, maybe it's not loading because of the CDN thingy.
But then,
yeah.
yeah, it was working now. Today, Hydra was having.
No,
But
because this is a separate page that I made. So maybe that's why in the material page.
Okay, okay. I think
Yeah.
it was just taking a bit of time to me, but it was working.
Okay, no worries. So I will check the chat. Is working. Yeah, so cool. And you can probably if you follow the process, you probably see these buttons and probably you pressed it already. But basically you can we already gave the example with the colorama, the second one, which makes this colorama only when you're doing the gesture, and noise, which is modulate noise, which makes this kind of like wavy ripple kind of visual effect triggered only when you're hiding your face.
And it doesn't have to really be the frontal webcam from your laptop. It could also be another type of camera. You just have to be aware that you need to train with probably another camera, also for the machine learning part. But I'm just saying because maybe you are thinking, I don't know, an installation or a performance, and then but I want to use another camera. Well, that's also possible. The same as I did it with this one today.
Exactly, and this is something that I want you to try out, because this is like one example that with a gesture that we gave you first, but if you go back to the Teachable Machine page and close this window, I think you have to either you reload the page, maybe you can reload. Oh, if you reload the page, please copy this link somewhere, because if you go away, it's not going to save it on your browser. The model is somewhere in the cloud, but this link, you cannot retrieve it. So if you want to use this again, you should copy it and paste it in your note app or text editor or so on, so that you can always come back to this Teachable Hydra glitch me and use that link model here. So that's just a tip. And if you want to try something else, you just have to either remove all samples here, or you can just reload the page. And
also,
then,
maybe sorry, no, but something to add is that this glitch me webpage is also, since it works on glitch me, it's also possible to remix and make your own webpage based on this as well.
yeah, so we can also try the console, but maybe I can pass it to you after I give another example with the Teachable machine. So I did, me being still versus holding hand, but if there is enough visual difference, it can tell which class it is, right? So either like I'm still, and then another one I'm just disappearing, for example, and it's a task for you who are watching or participating today to try out different examples, but also what's the limit, what's possible and not. For example, if I'm holding left hand versus if I'm holding, okay, so I do class 2. If I'm holding right hand, would that be possible to recognize the difference? I haven't tried actually, but you can also try this kind of thing. In our case, we only have 2 classes. So, if you want to have 3, then we can't really use it in Hydra yet. But okay, let's see. the training is done. So if I'm holding this side, see, actually it's not detecting class 1, or it's getting really confused, because for us, holding left hand, right hand, it's quite different. And you could probably notice if you're, if you're human. But yeah, for machines, sometimes it's get confusing. I mean, maybe it's because it's symmetric. I don't know. So you can find, like what conditions work, what conditions doesn't work, and also, because it's camera based, because of that, lighting also might change if it's an installation, in like room installation. Those things have to be like considered, but something, yeah, that's something that you want to explore by yourself. And well, because they have the preview window here, preview box here, so probably you don't have to like load it in Hydra to check the results, which is quite nice, that you can just try it on the spot. And if it works, so in this case it's not really working for me, so maybe I want to reload the page and try different pattern, and so on. And yeah, if you're already trying it now, please tell us how it's going in the chat. And meanwhile, we're going to be should I switch to you, Lord, and then we can
sure.
do some live coding?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so just I think I'm not allowed to share now.
Really?
Yeah, because you're a host.
Oh,
I can do it now.
Yeah, because I said to all participants, so please don't abuse other people. We trust you.
Mm.
Is it like Zoom bombing like still a thing? I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyways,
Can you see my screen?
yes, it's working.
Okay, awesome. So I have here I already trained my model. This is also like a bit like so for me it's working now. I think I also trained
It's a
it
cooking show.
yeah. Yes, exactly. Today is like all about food. Are we hungry? Maybe.
I have to
So
still cook afterwards. Anyways,
can you see my console?
yeah. I don't know if
Okay.
you can like enlarge it a bit. I mean, I can read it, but yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
That's better.
So I will clean. Yeah. So this is a browser console, and proof also that Hydra is working here is that I could just type OSC, and then I change the function. But so the function that actually is triggering the hand is called label. It's everything is also in on the web page that we share initially from the documentation. And I could, for example, not necessarily use the camera as a source, but for example, I could change. I could have here a shape. So if I press enter, it's like just changing here. But what I could do is also change the scale. And if I use this label here, so yeah. So it's going like between 0 and 1. So I'm changing the size of the triangle with my hand. So any other idea, request?
I just put the code in the chat, so because it's a little bit confusing, the syntax. So if you
Yes.
just want to like try it out, you can just copy and paste. And if you don't know how to run the console, I don't know how to explain. But anyways,
Well, yes, I mean you could. So now, for example, I could change the maker this rainbow effect. Maybe I should also, if I want more colors, because it goes from 0 to 1, I could, for example, multiply it per 10. So then I would get more colors because we like rainbows. And the idea is that, yeah, this is like a custom function that Naoto built. And also what is interesting is if you want to also maybe get in deep into this, is that they is using this lerp function that is making the transition between 0 and 1 softer. So otherwise it would be like a jump and not like this soft ramp. And I think it's also kind of nice for interactions, unless you want, like, of course, something like a hard transition between one value and another.
In the rave.
Yeah.
And I didn't really think about, having like different gestures, but you can always, if you have powerful computer, you can always open different windows and try different functions and train like different models. That could be actually quite fun to try. I have never tried it, but I think in theory it should work. So if you have one gesture like hiding and not hiding, and hiding myself versus me being here, this kind of thing, you make different models because it only is for class 1 and 2. And then you just input different models to different windows. Maybe you can have like a kind of orchestra of different models, different functions. So what are you trying now?
Well, now I just added a modulate with the camera, so it's a little bit, yeah, you can also see myself here. But I was also thinking now that I could also, for example, add the same shape here. And yes.
blending into the shape.
And then what I could also do is add, like, for example, these exactly the same, like the label and the scale for the shape. So I could also, so now I'm
Oh,
also
wow.
modifying more than one function with this. And as you can see, like in the case of the OSC, the value is going from 0 to or 10. And the other one is like 0 and 1 by default. But if I multiply, what I'm trying to say is that you can make also your own equations to get another value that is not 0 or 1. Could be
Can you
0.
also rotate the shape with a hand, just adding more and more things?
Sure.
Yeah, and in the material page, I think if you go to chapter 1, there's like a snippet of code that you can actually copy and paste to Hydra editor and run it on the Hydra editor, because doing this in the console, as you can see, it's a little bit tedious. So actually, that's another option. I don't know if my page is loading on the... Oh yeah, it loaded. Maybe I can ask you so that I can take over again. Oh yeah, that's really cool that it rotates now.
Yeah, so for example, for the rotate, I multiply per math p. So
yeah, because yesterday was the Pi day.
Really? Yeah,
Yeah.
true. Okay. I mean, what a coincidence. I didn't think about it. Okay, I will stop sharing and you can now.
Yeah. So another thing I thought would be useful, because we have time. Okay.
That is my
So,
code. Share it. So if you want to try same thing.
Thanks for sharing. And so if you go to this material page, I'm not going to go back and forth because it might not load. There's chapter 1, there's chapter 0 and chapter 1. And chapter 1 has all this list that is more like a note for us that how to use the Teachable machine. And at the end, you have this code that you can just copy and put it into Hydra editor. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to allow a microphone. What I'm going to do is put, oh no, it has something weird. Okay, so I think I copied something wrong. I just copy this exact thing. because I think there are some other things down below. So that's not something you want. Yeah, if it looks like this, it's correct. And the point is that if you already use Hydra, the way you evaluate it with is a Control-Shift-Enter. But there are some weird timing issues, so we have to evaluate every single line with Control-Enter. Even if you're using Mac, it's Control. And here, this is like familiar URL. So that's something I want to change into the link, the URL I have, which is this one for me. And I will do Control Enter. So this is kind of, and I'm just going every line, Control Enter, Control Enter, Control Enter. And then this is like actually exposing how ML5 is used. So probably it's also very informative. And I think this is because of the original example that was used. So yeah, there you go. So I run every code with Control Enter, go down, Control Enter, go down. So now I have the same example with this invert thingy. And actually, like this is one of this is the way you can embed, integrate ML5JS within Hydra editor. So it's a little bit easier than using the console, but don't run Control-Shift-Enter. It might do some weird stuff. So that's one tip. And then I can start again, just like Flora was doing, because we all like to code. So I'm going to do something here. Oh, this isn't going to, I'm just going to disappear. I don't know what I can do. I mean, I can disappear into OSC, but I don't know if that's interesting. Layer. I don't know if you have any idea what to do with this. We still have like 10 minutes. I mean, we can also, like I can just randomly code and you can have a Q&A, or you can have Q&A while I code.
Yeah.
I mean,
also,
we can have, yeah.
Yeah, if you have any questions, I mean, of course, we can't like make like super individual like run through the debugging, but we can try. So if you have
maybe
any,
also like Flor can maybe share. I mean, not I think the socials are on the material page that we shared if you scroll down. So that's something useful if you want to get in touch with us. I'll change my scale.
Also maybe say like in the model from Hydra, there's also the Discord channel. So you can also join the Discord from Hydra. It's a nice community. When you have also questions or you need help, we are also there. Computational Mama is saying, such an amazing idea. It would work in the same way with audio and postnet. So I'm not sure like
What's
if
that?
I'm not sure like if you mean like audio reactive thing or like something that you want to use postnet and audio.
So actually, one of the things we tried at
Audio
first was
classification.
postnet we tried, but it was kind of weird. I don't know. We couldn't use it. Like in P5JS, it's easier, but also the way postnet works is like you get all these points and then like array of points, which is not easy to work with in Hydra. So either like, how to say, I was trying to think about, like, for example, getting the hand tracking and, use that as a kind of input to Hydra, but I didn't manage to make it. So that's my honest
I think
report.
also she probably is asking for the I don't know if Teachable machine has a like audio classification, but I think we didn't try it.
No, we didn't try.
So I guess might work, might not.
Maybe.
Good idea to try it. Yes, please try it and let us know.
Yes, we want your help.
And then also Gomez Enriquez Luis Octavio is asking, can I use audio instead of images? Yes. Okay. Same question. We don't know. Might work. Ah, you went wild. When?
I have the feedback now.
Yes. This is getting like very like surreal.
What else? Did we miss any comments? Yeah. And again, we have like tutorials, tutorial videos. Also, the CCFest, we did, Hydra introduction together some years ago, and that video is up online. You can also come visit my YouTube. I started the beginners tutorial like a few months ago, well, from January, I think. And there I explain everything about Hydra from the beginning. So from the beginning, Genesis, whatever. So you can follow that, and that would make sense for you to, like what we did. We did super quickly, but that would make sense for you if you follow it along, and especially this syntax with how we are using label, which is like very cryptic, but that I spent. One or two videos to explain already about it. I didn't talk about teachable machine yet in the videos, but I might actually do that as a next, like more like intermediate or advanced tutorials. There is a Discord. If someone can drop the invite.
I think now if you show the question button like from Hydra.
Like
Yeah.
here. So if you're
Yeah.
on the editor, you go to this one and you scroll all the way down, and there is a Discord server and Facebook group. So that's something would be super helpful to get in touch with us, because now you make things, and if you could share with us on these places, that'll be amazing. And people can comment, and it's always good to share things, so that don't shy away from sharing what you make. Then that's, I think, the best way to improve is to actually share what you make.
Yes, Computational Mama is asking also if you could explain the LERP thing at the bottom of the example. Do we
Yeah,
always
so
need it?
So, yeah, Mastodon is also a great place to share. Thank you, Olivia. I'm more these days active on Mastodon. Then the question by Computational Mama, thank you for that. This is basically I added because at one point it was like really like flickering. I think Floor said earlier, but if you don't do lerp, because what the model does, if you check this one, actually it gives the preview has this bar chart, but it's quite like jumping between the class 1 and class 2. And we don't want the result or the output to be like flickering a lot. If it's like a bar chart, it's kind of okay because it's small. But if you add it to like color or colorama, then the visual effect is quite strong. Sorry, I'm quite multiplied, but and also like because of lerp, now I'm actually, this is a good example because now I have this kind of like swirl kind of thingy thanks to lerping. Because if I don't lerp, I can actually show you how it looks without lerping. So I think I drop this part. No, yeah, label is, I think I have to drop this thing, and I hope it doesn't crash. It didn't work. Or maybe I lerp with 1, maybe something like this. Or maybe I have to reload the page, because classify start should only happen once, I think. I can still demonstrate. Okay, I'll try. Okay, maybe it didn't work. Maybe Floor can say something while I'm struggling.
Okay, so maybe the idea of LERP is that this creating like a soft transition between 0 and 1, because otherwise, as Naoto explained, like with this idea of training with the model is detecting true or false. So we will have 0 or 1 results. And this function is like just creating these soft transitions between the values that exist between 0 and 1. And the idea is that, yes, it's like the transition between the values that we are using is a bit softer than this jumping from values, which could also be interesting.
Yeah, so this is what I have now, and it's just not like jumping between two states, so it's okay. But now you see, multiplied me and big me, well, normal me, just jumping back and forth, and there's no in between. So LERP is like giving this like in between state that goes like whoop, which doesn't happen anymore if I don't do LERPing. Which is, it's a different, it's a choice. It's different aesthetics.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, maybe yeah, it's 6:43. This session will end up, I think, in 2 minutes.
We
So
have to
maybe,
all go to the Olivia's keynote. This will be amazing because now you had the glimpse of Hydra. We made this, stage for Olivia.
yeah.
I'm happy to contribute.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
me
mean
too.
we're good friends, and we're like a good community, so it's nice to be supportive, and yeah, like just share what you do is also like supporting the community. So thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you in the one of my tutorials or I don't know meetups or whatever. But let's keep in touch, and we'd love to hear what you make.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for coming.
So I guess everyone should close the window and go open the next keynote.
Yeah, see you. Bye.
So I'm gonna stop sharing, and
Can we
yeah, I'm
just,
gonna hmm?
I think you're host now, so you,
Yeah, I'll just end the meeting for all. So don't forget to check out the keynote.
yeah.
Bye.
Bye.